Negotiation abilities are crucial in both the corporate and personal worlds. In a delicate dance known as negotiation, two sides look for areas of agreement and work towards solutions that will benefit both of them. Yet, bargaining is a difficult undertaking with frequently huge risks. Former FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss is all too familiar with this. Voss shares his knowledge of bargaining in his book, Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as if your life depended on it. The Black Swans, sudden, high-impact changes to the negotiation. In a negotiation scenario, Voss encountered a challenging adversary in the form of an assailant who had previously been unresponsive to attempts at communication. Voss, however, did not shy away from the difficult task at hand and used an array of clever strategies to establish rapport with the hostage-taker and to initiate a productive dialogue. Unfortunately, in the midst of the negotiation, an unforeseeable and tumultuous event emerged. The hostage-taker abruptly ceased all communication and shockingly began to fire at the captives. This sudden and disruptive occurrence is what Voss would refer to as a black swan event, and it necessitated an immediate change in tactics in order to de-escalate the situation and achieve a successful outcome. Voss was able to quickly adapt to the unexpected and severe event and shifted his negotiation approach. He recognized that the negotiation strategies he had employed in the past were no longer effective, and in order to reach a positive resolution and free the hostages, he had to implement a new plan of action. First section, Approach to Negotiation. Tactical empathy. Voss's approach to negotiation emphasizes the importance of understanding and influencing the emotions of the other party. This involves using techniques like active listening, mirroring, labeling, and calibrated questions to demonstrate empathy and build rapport with the other party. In a situation, he was negotiating with a woman whose home would be forfeited as a result of a late mortgage payment. The woman originally refused to speak with Voss or his staff. She was angry and defensive. Voss utilized tactical empathy to show that he recognized the woman's viewpoint and was genuinely worried about her welfare rather than trying to force a conversation or exacerbate the situation. He began by expressing regret for any discomfort or stress the circumstance may have caused her, and after that, he utilized carefully chosen questions and attentive listening to learn about her priorities and worries. As the talk went on, Voss established connection with the woman and acknowledged her feelings by using strategies like mirroring and labeling. He recognized that she was feeling upset and helpless and that the bank had put her in a challenging situation. Voss was able to win the woman's trust and develop a win-win solution that allowed the woman to maintain her home by displaying empathy and compassion. This situation serves as an illustration of how tactical empathy can be a potent instrument in negotiations, enabling negotiators to forge connections and have an impact on the feelings and actions of the opposing party. Negotiators can foster a more cooperative and fruitful negotiating process by showing genuine care for the interests and requirements of the other party. Conventional strategies for negotiating often involve a competitive, win-lose mentality. The focus is on achieving a victory for one side at the expense of the other, rather than finding a solution that benefits both parties. These strategies may involve making extreme initial offers, making demands, or using aggressive tactics to intimidate the other party. While these strategies may work in some situations, they can also be counterproductive. They can lead to breakdowns in communication, mistrust, and ultimately, a failure to reach a successful negotiation. Moreover, they can damage relationships and lead to long-term consequences. Voss highlights the value of active listening during negotiations. Active listening is concentrating on what the other side is saying, and showing that you are paying attention. To demonstrate empathy and establish rapport, strategies like labeling and mirroring can be used. We will get back to that shortly. Knowing and influencing the emotions of the other side is essential to obtaining a favorable result during negotiations. Negotiation is about coming to a resolution that benefits both sides and is in everyone's best interests. To do this, negotiators must get to know the opposing party and try to establish areas of agreement. The second section, Techniques and Strategies. Anchoring. Voss argues that the first offer made in a negotiation sets the tone for the rest of the discussion, and that negotiators should aim to anchor the conversation in their favor. This involves making a bold and assertive opening offer that is supported by data and facts. Example: imagine that you and a future employer are haggling over a pay. The employer initially offers $50,000 annually. You choose to anchor the negotiation by making a counteroffer of $70,000, rather than accepting or rejecting the offer outright. Setting a starting anchor of $70,000 has effectively changed the negotiation's reference point in your favor. Instead of the $50,000 initial offer, the employer is now more likely to take into account offers that are closer to your anchor. This can give you more leverage in the negotiation and increase the likelihood of achieving a more favorable outcome. Mirroring: this involves repeating back the last few words of the other party's statement in a questioning tone. The technique can help build rapport and demonstrate empathy, while also allowing negotiators to gather more information about the other party's perspective. Example: imagine you are in a negotiation with a customer who is dissatisfied with the level of service they have received from your business. The client declares, "I'm quite unhappy with the service I have received, I was expecting much better from your company." In response, you may employ mirroring to show that you're paying attention and understanding the client's perspective. You might say, "You seem to be dissatisfied and irritated with the level of service you've received, and expected more from us." By employing mirroring in this manner, you show that you are paying attention to the client and understanding where they are coming from. By demonstrating to the other party that you value their concerns, you can diffuse difficult situations and help to establish rapport and trust. Calibrated questions are open-ended questions that are designed to gather information and guide the conversation. They are often phrased in a way that encourages the other party to reveal their priorities and motivations. This is an illustration of a calibrated query. Voss was attempting to negotiate a safe release of the captives from the kidnappers. He asked, "How do we make sure that everyone leaves this circumstance, feeling like they have triumphed?" This inquiry focuses on the common objective of a peaceful resolution and is open-ended and non-threatening. Voss was able to steer the discussion in the right direction by framing the question in this way without imposing a solution or assuming the other person's motivations. Labeling emotions: this involves identifying and naming the emotions that the other party is feeling, and can be a powerful tool for demonstrating empathy and building rapport. Here's an illustration of how labeling can be put to use during a negotiation. Imagine that you are negotiating the purchase of a home with a seller who won't bend on the asking price. You sense the seller's frustration and agitation building, and you want to defuse the situation and restart the dialogue. You may use the method of categorizing emotions to say something like, "I noticed that the present offer is making you feel incredibly frustrated. Given the time and work you've invested in this property, it makes sense that you'd feel that way." You show that you comprehend and empathize with the seller's feelings by identifying their emotions and explaining why they may be experiencing those feelings. Assertiveness, empathy, and relationship building are essential to successful negotiating, but Voss also stresses the value of being forceful and defending your own interests. Setting boundaries, being straightforward and explicit in your communication, and employing strategies like the Ackerman model, can help steer the negotiation toward a successful conclusion. The Ackerman model involves 5 key steps. 1. Determine your ideal outcome and your initial offer, which should be higher than your target price. 2. Plan a series of small concessions, typically in increments of 10%, that you will make in response to the other party's counteroffers. This creates a sense of progress and momentum in the negotiation. 3. At certain points in the negotiation, signal that you are willing to walk away if you don't reach an agreement that meets your needs. This can put pressure on the other party to make concessions. 4. Use non-monetary concessions. If you are unable to make further monetary concessions, consider offering non-monetary concessions such as longer delivery times or additional services. 5. Make your final offer, which should be close to your target price but still leave some room for the other party to feel like they've achieved a win. The third section, practical guidance. Voss provides strategies for negotiating with difficult people, such as those who are aggressive, deceptive, or irrational. Negotiating in high-stakes situations, such as hostage negotiations, requires a different approach than other types of negotiations. Voss provides guidance on how to handle these situations, including developing a strong rapport with the other party, demonstrating empathy, and maintaining a clear and focused mindset. Negotiating via email and over the phone can be challenging, as it can be difficult to read the other party's emotions and body language. Voss provides guidance on how to approach these situations, including using calibrated questions and strategic language to build rapport and guide the conversation. Negotiating with multiple parties, such as in a business partnership or merger, requires a different approach than negotiating one-on-one. Voss provides strategies for handling these situations, including developing a strong relationship with each party, understanding their priorities and interests, and finding common ground that benefits everyone involved. The principles of negotiation can be applied in everyday life, such as in personal relationships, job interviews, and buying a car. Voss provides guidance on how to use these principles to achieve successful outcomes in a variety of situations. The power of no. Hearing no helps negotiators better understand the position and goals of the other side. When the other side responds no, they may feel heard and in control, which may lead to a more fruitful debate. Voss advises employing calibrated queries to lead the other person to respond no. Open-ended questions with a what or how prefix are referred to as calibrated questions since they nudge the other side to provide more details about their perspective. By doing this, the negotiator is better able to comprehend the wants and needs of the opposing side and can use this knowledge to establish a win-win resolution. Furthermore, Voss contends that hearing no might aid the negotiator in establishing limitations and boundaries for the conversation. It can be just as crucial to understand what the other side is not willing to do or accept as it is to understand what they are. The negotiator might focus on finding a solution that both parties can accept by narrowing the options and getting to a no in the conversation. Understanding the other party's perspective and engaging in a fruitful conversation that can result in a successful negotiation are the keys to getting to a no rather than being confrontational or antagonistic. Now get out there and start negotiating as if your life depended on it. For more ideas on financial or trading books, we suggest watching these videos. If you liked this video and want to learn more on how you can improve your situation, please subscribe. Money Mindset, Financial Freedom.